Okay, so let's see if we can compile some protos so that we can start writing a Haskell gRPC service for the for the API we sketched out for this read it later app, which I'm calling Lector. I unfortunately, to compile the protos, we have to do a little bit more work. The compiling protos requires this proto3 suite uh, repo that's made by the same people that gRPC Haskell is made with, and they're heavily invested in Nix and it looks like the alternative they have to Nix is using Stack. I found that when I've installed Nix, it kind of pollutes my whole machine and does stuff that the uninstaller doesn't clean up. And I find Stack in general to be pretty brittle. And so I would really rather neither do any of these. I'm gonna, I guess, see if Cabal will work. I'm guessing Cabal on its own won't work. And then I'll try Stack, and then if neither Stack nor Cabal works, I might try Nix in a VM just so that I don't have to let Nix muck up all my stuff. So I guess let's give that a whack. Let's just try cloning. I'm going to guess that this is going to be, having Cabal work is going to be prevented by having, having to download some dependencies that are possibly a bit hidden. But we'll see how it goes. So we don't want wire. I don't know if I can just do Cabal run this thing. I don't think I have Cabal installed. Yeah, I'll install it from here. Probably I'll need to install the like GH cup thing. It's going to be a whole mess. Let's try that. So far, so good. This is like an insane amount of dependencies, or something that seems like it should be a little bit simpler. I'm curious now about the dependencies of Proto, is it ProtoLens? We have a bunch of modules, and then we have some depends, and then maybe everything else in Proto 3 suite is really transitive dependencies. Let's I guess compare the files. Yeah, well, more dependencies. maybe about twice as many, not like an order of magnitude more. All right, still building. I wonder if ProtoLens is still active. 5 months ago, about half a year. Doesn't seem particularly active. I'm guessing Proto 3 Suite is more active, at least a little more. Let's see. Looked like the last commit was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, there's some activity here. Okay, so while that's trying to build, which I'm a little bit skeptical it's actually going to finish building, but we'll see. Let's take a look at the tutorial from the gRPC Haskell that has some sample code. I guess we want the server first. And we're importing the generated file and gRPC high level generated. And we're setting a bunch of language thingies. I'm not sure really what all of these do. Overloaded lists and strings, I think those are relatively straightforward. Bang patterns, I believe, is for using the exclamation mark as a strictness annotation. GADT should be what? Generalized algebraic data types. I'm not sure generalized to what. Data kinds, I feel like I looked at before on a previous video. And I think that's for declaring like data, essentially data types at the kind level. I guess let's read about GADTs. Since we have some time to kill. Oh, for dummies. This is promising. It's so a lot of explanations on the internet just don't tell you what the topic of they don't define things. You have to like scroll down to find out what the definition is. Maybe I'll just click on this thing. Maybe this will tell me. Like first is papers. I don't care so much what papers are until I know what it is. Similarly, like we can skip the motivating example until we have a definition, right? Maybe Wikibooks will come to my aid. Or a generalization of the algebraic data types that I'm familiar with. I'll ask Bard. And it's still building. It's a generalization of parametric algebraic data types. We allow the type of the constructor to depend on the type of its arguments. Is that what this says? All right. So they allow the constructors to depend on the type of its arguments. So you get this kind of parameterized constructor. This allows for more precise and expressive type definitions. For example, consider the following GADT. See, now we can have an example since we have a definition. Okay, so we have, is this a G? Okay, this is a GADT. say we have data expression A. I guess A is the parameter where lit takes an int, an expression of int, and add. Sorry, lit is of type int to expression of int, and add is of type expression int and expression int, and returns an expression int. This defines the expression type expr that can be parameterized by a type A. The lit constructor takes an integer argument and returns an expression of type exprint. The add constructor takes two expressions of type exprint and returns an expression of type exprint. What does the parameter do? Have we used it? The fact that the type of expr constructor depends on the type of its argument is useful because it allows us to write a function that operates on expressions of different types. For example, the following function adds two expressions of type exprint. Okay, so we no longer, so we're not explicitly, I guess, addressing the A. The A is just, I guess, maybe implicit here. And add is going to take two lit things and produce lit of the sum. And if they are not lit, then we just call add on E1 and E2, where add is this thing here. This function is able to add expressions of any type that is parameterized by the type int. I'm not sure that Bard is telling me the truth. I think that maybe this is supposed to be, int is maybe supposed to be the parameter. Or maybe I'm just not reading the syntax right. Here's another example. Here's expression is equal to I int integer constants, add two expressions, multiply two expressions. In other words, this data type corresponds to the abstract syntax tree. An arithmetic term like 5 plus 1 times 7 would be represented as I5 add I1, etc. Now imagine we like to extend the language. For instance, let's say we want to represent equality tests, etc. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get a clear, direct explanation of what's going on. This is using let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, so we finally get a compilation failure. .proto. So we're missing .proto. And we're, I guess, from Proto 3. Wait, what are we in? We're in Proto 3 Suite. All right, so I don't know. I don't really have a hope of knowing what is missing unless I get some better error messages. I feel like the root cause should be that some dependency is missing, right? Hopefully. Or maybe my GHC is out of date. The Cabal version is 3.0. And the internet tells me that the stable release is 3.8.1.0. So what does this mean? Well, the error I'm getting is like looks to be some sort of type error. Failed to build. And I'm wondering if the problem is that they're using something like fancy and new that isn't supported by the version of Cabal I have. Let's see if they have some sort of indication of what the minimal GHC version is. Maybe in the Cabal file? So this is Cabal version 2.2. I guess I can try stack. What are the chances that there's some version of stack? And they gave me some sort of stack run thingamajig, right? I'm just going to copy this. Let's see if that works. I'm currently using stack 2.3.3, but version 2.11.1 is available. Do I want to try that? I guess let's try first without upgrading. You never know. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, I was asking ChatGPT about GADTs. Okay, so ChatGPT says it's an extension of the traditional ADTs. They allow you to have more precise finding and control and enable you to express more complex relationships. Again, what it enables us to do, but there's no definition. Okay, so here is an example at least. So shape 2 of A, where circle 2 is of type double to shape 2 of double, and rectangle 2 is of type double to shape of double double. And the regular ADT says the shape 1 is either a circle 1 of double or a rectangle 1 of double double. But what is shape 2 really providing us? In this example, in the regular ADT, shape 1, both constructors, circle 1 and rectangle 1, always return the value of shape 1. Okay? In the GADT shape 2, the constructors have more specific return types. Circle 2 returns a double, while rectangle 2 returns a tuple double double. Okay. So maybe I was misunderstanding what was supposed to be happening in this example in Bard. So the A here is kind of like just a dummy variable, it seems like, because it gets populated by actual types, right? Here's a more practical example, expression A, where, again, they get populated. Although this one still has the generic A. Okay. So it seems like they allow constructors to return slightly different types. In this case, so ChatGPT is saying shape 2, the constructors have more specific return types. For example, circle 2 returns a double. But it seems like circle 2 returns a shape 2 of double. Here's another example. Get an empty, non-empty list of xy, where nil is list A of empty, and cons takes an A and a list A B, and returns a list A of non-empty. And we have safe head. So the last type, I guess, is the last bit is recording whether whether we can really call whether the list is empty or not, right? And then there's some other examples. Okay, so stack has failed. Ignoring Proto 3 suites bounds on quick check instances. Large generics is needed, but the stack configuration has no specified version. The latest version matching is whatever. Try building the following in your extra depths. What? Oof. The Haskell tooling is not great, I have to say. Let's try upgrading stack. Okay, so maybe I should just give up. I can try doing something where I use Nix in a VM. That's going to take, I think, a little bit of time to set up, unless I have. I mean, I could set up some script, like do it in a Docker container, and then it's going to take forever to install Nix or whatever. Do I want to do that? Maybe. So are they, so in these instructions, are they saying that stack? Yeah. Should we try stack build? I'm assuming it's going to fail with the same error. Okay, so the problem that it has, it doesn't like that large generics doesn't have a specific version. Is that the problem? Do I just add it here? Oh. Well, maybe I can just disable large generics, right? Large records. How do I disable a flag? Stack disable flag? Can I just do no large records? Do I pass it after like a... Okay, so let's look at this most recent, this committed as large records. Default is true. So let's set it to let's just try setting it to false. Oops. I'm not sure why it's like starting over from scratch. Didn't it already build all this stuff? Or is this just starting where it left off? So at any rate, the Haskell, the gRPC service has GADTs. For what? I'm not sure, but probably for some of the generic server stuff. And there's data kinds, which, as I said, I think is like the data types at the kind level. Maybe we can look at the generated code again. Should also have GADTs. Yeah. Cool. I'm not sure where we actually use GADTs. I don't think this is. I'll say, is this a GADT? Yeah, so it's a regular data type. I'm not sure that we actually use GADTs. Maybe we do implicitly or do in one of the dependencies. It's like, give me some examples of Haskell, of using Haskell data kinds. Oh, yeah, so it's for promoting data types to the kind level. For example, if you have colors, you can promote color to a kind and you can use constructors at the type level. So color, I guess, is of type proxy for red. Here, proxy is used to create a value level representation of the promoted type red. And then there's the type level natural numbers, which I think is the standard data kinds example. And then there's like the type safe length index lists, which is the other standard example, which I think is supposed to be like a poor man's dependent types. And I'm not really sure where we use data kinds here. I don't know. So I should remind anyone watching that I'm not that I'm not a Haskell developer. I'm seeing a bunch of stuff in the chat that I was just missing. Let me pop this out. So Papa give us. You can use single quote. Oh, thanks. So they're saying thanks for the great Basil videos, and it was correct. You just write the types of constructors, nothing fancy. Oh no, I didn't check the DAML repository. I'll check that out. Wait, maybe I have. Yeah. Oh, thanks. So is DAML the contract language? Yeah, the blockchain thing. I actually haven't looked at their repository, but I do know that they have been They've been doing cool stuff with Haskell. Maybe I'll see if they are in GitHub. I don't know if they do use gRPC Haskell, but maybe they do. Will the Cabal file tell me? Somewhere there should be a Cabal file, right? Or is this not Haskell, so does it not count? You've got some Go. You've got Bazel Haskell deps. Yeah, it does look like they're using Bazel, which I don't think I realized. They might use rules Haskell. They seem to use Nix. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll look closer at them. So they've got gRPC runtime stuff. Maybe they do use let me since Microsoft has made it harder to search, I'll just clone the repo. Oops. Clear that. Wait, what? Okay, so we have some Cabal configs. Not sure it's not sure which one's the most important one. Maybe this one, YAML project config.cabal. And let's see if they use gRPC. Let's just try just grepping for gRPC Haskell. Yeah, look at that. I guess I could have just copied their stuff. Why didn't I do that? Oops, I don't want that colon at the end. Very cool. This is a .bazel file, which is, I assume, like defining the dependencies and stuff. Yeah, I mean, they may have done all of the work that I thought that I had to do. Where's their build file? So can I do find yeah, so gRPC Haskell is listed as a dependency in this Bazel build file. Let's take a look at maybe one of these. I guess it doesn't matter which one. Yeah, so they've got some dependency on gRPC Haskell. Where's that defined? They've got this package depths thing. And where's package steps coming from? Is that in rules Haskell? It seems like maybe they define their own thing. Very interesting. Yeah, I should take a look at this this repo. Let's see if they're using. I forget whether rules Haskell uses an underscore or not. Okay, so they are using rules Haskell, which I don't know how they would not be. I don't remember if rules Haskell has a package depth. I know they have stackage depths. Yeah, I really wish I had known this. You know, that's uh, I was aware of DAML, but I didn't know how deep they how far off the deep end they'd gone. Let's see if the package depth stuff appears in rules Haskell itself. I think it was an underscore, but there is stackage steps, right? No? Oh, you know what? Rules Haskell doesn't have like stackage depths, right? They just have the at stackage repository. So I do think that DAML has done their own work for the package depth stuff. Where did I see the implementation? Haskell.bazel. And they've got this DA Haskell library. This file defines common Haskell language extensions and compiler flags used throughout this repository. The macro is DA Haskell defined in the file instead of stock rules Haskell blah. In order to use the default flags, and you have to do some stuff. Common flags, common Haskell extensions, I guess is what they're called. Okay. Well, that's all cool. Now the question is whether anything compiled. All right, I'm getting this data dot proto field. Is this the same thing that it failed at before? Maybe can I just roll back to something? Or is there like a version? I forget how this works. There's like some crazy syntax for tags, right? Oh, do I just do tag slash? Yeah. See if that will build now. I'm guessing it will. Well, maybe it will. Seems to be making progress on the dot proto stuff. I know you can do it. Absolute paths to protofiles are not permitted. They must be all relevant to what? Why? That's not cool. Is the path going to be like appear in the file? What's my path? Temp something or other? All right. Well, this seems to have worked. I'm going to promote Proto 3 Suite out of the temp directory. That already exists. And I'm going to move this generated file to the proto directory. And I'm just going to leave it in the proto directory and import it from there. That is not, it's not beautiful to commit your generated proto files, but I don't think it's like a, you know, one of those sins that will send you directly to hell. All right. Cool. Oh, wait, no. I think I accidentally did commit amend. Whereas what I really wanted to do was commit. And I'll say add generated Haskell proto file. And then just for the sake of not shooting myself in the foot, let's record an alias to whatever command I used to generate this file. What's the pop? Was it popd? I'm sure that's not going to quite execute the way I want it to, but that'll be enough for me to figure it out. They're saying I sort of gave up. Yeah, you know what? It's hard. I think that yeah, this really it does really suck that they didn't use ProtoLens. I don't blame them. I think that the to be, I guess, a little bit frank, what I've found with the Haskell tooling is that although people seem to like the language a lot, the tooling is not amazing. And I think that what people have been trying to do is just get their work done with what they can. And I think all of this stuff would be a lot more coherent if it had a firmer foundation. And I know that when I was at Google, there were people who wanted to make Haskell, like they were pushing to make Haskell a language that's used within Google, but there's not enough momentum there for them to convince Google, the corporate folks, to invest in Haskell. And really, I don't think any other company is putting in much money to invest in Haskell. So it seems to be kind of like this is stuck in this state where it could be really cool, but in practice, it's not as beautiful as it could be, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what's behind the decision not to use ProtoLens. Maybe I assume that there's good reason, because the people who wrote these libraries are very smart, or at least they appear to be very smart. But it would be better if all this stuff worked together. But even like within Google, there's still, as far as I know, you can't use like Bazel to build Flutter apps, which is you would think eventually they would, decide that there's some benefit to having all the things in the ecosystem work together. But we're certainly not there yet. Will we ever be there? I don't know. So companies use Haskell when they can't afford Rust devs nowadays. Yeah, that's interesting. That's quite possibly true. I think that a lot of the compiler people who were previously excited about Haskell have moved to Rust, or many of them are moved to Rust, or are also into Rust. I don't know. Are Rust devs expensive? Like from my perspective, it's there's a the little bit of Haskell I've written is nice to write and nice to read in a way that I don't think that Rust is. So like Rust, I would think I'm sure you can get a lot done quickly in Rust, but I'm not sure that it's like I guess you do get the correctness properties. You get nice performance properties, and all of that is good. Yeah, ProtoLens wasn't that good. That's probably true. I don't know. I've never used like a lens library, I guess. Okay, what am I doing? I thought that I had committed this. No, maybe not. Oh, okay. Oh, hey again. Has it been half a year? I don't think it's that long, has it? Yeah. Hello. Hello, whimsically made. It's been probably a couple of months for sure. Okay. I think that now I have some, some protos. Okay. I guess I'll look at this 3 drafts. 4 resolved. But have I just never submit? Yeah, I have. Okay, wait. I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh, just did I never resolve the comments? I think it is true that certainly Rust people love Rust. I'm sure we can look up programming languages by maybe median pay. The lists by pay are always a little bit suspect, though, in my opinion, because um, why? First of all, they usually report mean pay, average pay, which is not a great statistic. But also because like you never know, like I think COBOL continues to be like for a while at least was a high paying language because there's like all of these legacy systems, so you don't get a whole lot of information about like what the people are doing or whatever. So let's clean up the white space. I'm sure there's some way that I can tell Emacs to always clean up white space on save. Yahoo Finance. Is Yahoo Finance still around? Quora. This is Google. I'm not sure if any of these are actually accurate sources. Go, Scala, Objective C. Like, I don't know. I don't hear much about like new programs in Scala. So I'm not sure if this is just like people maintaining like legacy programs and they're like relatively rare. So that's why they get paid a lot. So according to this list, Rust is below Perl. Is that really true? I don't know. And where's Haskell? And Haskell's like way down here, slightly above Fortran and Lua. I don't think this list could possibly be accurate, but who knows? It does seem like, if you were, Rust seems more, it's making more progress more quickly. And I think Haskell seems a little bit stuck. At least that's the perception I get as an outsider. So I guess if you are hiring people, it seems a little bit better to hire the Rust people if you have to make a choice. Didn't I get rid of this white space? Was it 43? I think Garrett's just not updating. Oh, I click go to latest patch set. Is that what's going on? Oh, I was just on a specific version, I guess. Okay, and so this generated code seems reasonable. I don't have any reason to know that I should be objecting to it. It didn't see, I was a little bit worried it was going to encode my path into it, but it doesn't seem to have done that. And so I'll just submit it. Oh, cool. Well, it's not cool that you took a pay cut, but I'm glad that you're able to work in Haskell Whimsically Made. I forgot Whimsically Made. Do you currently do Haskell? Too many Monad tutorials. I think the researchy part is probably good. But it probably is true that there's not. It would help to have people actually building stuff in it. And what I noticed when I looked at Haskell is it seems to attract a lot of people who want like challenging puzzles. And I think a lot of people got stuck at the challenging puzzle stage and like, creating interesting libraries that that do things with like functors or whatever, or that that are emphasizing like category theory concepts rather than like making products that people like to use. So I think that there's an element of truth to that. Only then Yeah. Okay. So now we after however much time it's been, an hour, we've compiled a proto. So I guess that's good. And I guess let's see if we can quickly scrape together some code just to have some handlers somewhere. I'm going to move this off just for a minute because I'm going to need both Emacs windows. All right. I'm going to copy and steal from this example server. Not this one. And I don't know. What am I going to call this? Main? No, do I have to call it main? I'm just going to copy this whole thing. And maybe I'm going to guess that I do need all of these language extensions. I'm not sure how it's going to work if I can. Yeah, you know what? I have to think about how, where to import the thingy from. I'll just try importing Lector. I don't think that's going to work. I could try importing this, which I think is also, well, we'll see. And I don't think I need this data string thing. Maybe something like this. I just want to see if something is gonna run. I'm gonna need a build file, and I will just copy from here. Okay, yeah. So Haskell, Haskell binary thinks that the the generated proto is a source file, as opposed to a dependency. Why? I'm not sure. I don't really remember. You'll need a Lector proto. Okay. So we have this server thing. This will not Yeah, let's see if this lector this proto service this proto library will build. Yeah. So Papaguas. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. So that they were so infatuated with all the category theory applications. Um, that after a year of work, I realized that I forgot to actually learn how to write. Yeah, I think that's a common trap, or maybe not trap, but I think that category theory is fun and mind expanding. Oh, okay, the whimsically made saying they got a mainstream job again. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think the the people who are interested in mainstream tech are cool. There are a bunch of them like actually in industry. They just don't get they have like their day job of writing whatever the language is, Go or Java or JavaScript or whatever. But then they also experiment with stuff as well. So I'm not expecting this binary to compile, um, but maybe it will tell me something about. Maybe the failure will tell me something interesting. Not sure why this analyzing phase is taking really long. It seems uncharacteristically long. Okay. Oh, the lector proto is not visible. Like it seems like you should have figured out the visibility issue like in the first couple of milliseconds. Oh, okay. I need to list the main .hs file. Okay, so the compilation exited abnormally, which is exactly what I suspected. I do need, okay, so I'm depending on I might need to depend on gRPC directly. Do I? I don't remember. There's this context stuff, which might be parameter context set but not used. Maybe that's okay, maybe that's not. It's missing input file. Oh, you know what? This should be, I got that directory wrong. No such package. Is it objecting to there not being a build file in the proto directory? I mean the Lector directory? There's one here, right? And there's one in proto. And there's one in backend. So what are you talking about? No such package, Lector proto. Well, it's not a package. I guess it should be a package, right? Is this supposed to be a package? I don't think it is. I'm not sure what it's objecting to because it's saying no such package, but the thing that it's supposed to be looking for is a source. Maybe if it wants me to do this. I have a feeling this might be well, before I say that, let me take a look at this. Is it not saving this? I don't know why it thinks it's looking for this thing with the double slashes because I changed the build file. So I don't know if the like rules Haskell just has cached something or if or what. Do we need to add a I guess I can try moving the Haskell file from the proto directory to the backend directory. That's a bit ugly. Yeah. Okay. Like that. That's pretty ugly. I think I'm gonna have to rewrite a bunch of the rules Haskell stuff. Shouldn't lector.hs be a separate library? Yes. Um, I can try that, but I can't remember if I tried that with the arithmetic thing. Let's see if that works. That's the way it should be. I was doing this way because I thought I was appeasing um, some awkwardness in the rules Haskell stuff, but maybe I'm not. I have to spell it correctly. Okay. Well, either way, I have to fix this protobuf string thing. So let's try fixing this first. Oh wait, hang on. This is a type error in the generated code. Is that right? This is protobuf string. Oh, cool. All right, I'm not sure. So either importer qualified proto3 suite dot proto on line 16 or importer qualified proto3 suite types on line 19. Well, I didn't generate the code. I'm not sure there's a reasonable way to resolve this. So 163. So it's going into dot proto. So maybe they want the dot proto one. Let me see if there's an issue filed with this. Oh, cool. They should be actively hiring for Haskell roles still. Is it? Did you find it to be a good place to work? So this seems to be the issue. Just the same issue I'm having. Opened on August 20th, but no response. Here's one closed. Well, maybe I can, what? I can try a different version, a different tag. I don't know. So let's try. Didn't I make an alias? Let's try running generate lector, which will probably fail. Did that work? Yeah. Okay. But really what I want to do is check out a different tag. I think I'm on 5.1, right? So when is this? This is from 2022. What is 5.1? I'm not sure. 5.1 is from also 2022 July versus March. I guess we'll try this one. And of course we have to recompile a bunch of stuff. Maybe we can do some looking in the history to find out where the line is that generates this. Probably gen. No? I guess source. Okay, so I tried generate. I generated. I regenerated the with the generated code with an older tag. Maybe that will solve my problem, which it does not. Why doesn't the all right? Thanks for hanging out, whimsically made. Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. So in the arithmetic version, do we have the same lines? We have HS protobuf AST, and then later we have HS protobuf. So why don't I get the AST? So line 163. And then in, let's see. I have a feeling that oh, maybe because the arithmetic proto doesn't use strings for anything. I'm still not sure why the why don't I get HS proto AST? Oops. Okay. Well, it doesn't want me to. GitHub doesn't want to do searching for me, but I have the repo here. Oops. Yeah, this one. Okay, so somewhere in here in generate.hs, we changed to this AST thing. Suite.proto generate. Support string data type. What? Support string type data.text.short to short text. Also replace new type override to schema with string and bytes new types. To clarify which instances of various type classes are selected, especially to schema to disambiguate string and generated code. Huh. All right. Well, when was this done? Maybe I can check out this untagged commit. The version 6.0. And if I remember my tags correctly, this will be like the upcoming release or something, right? So maybe I can just check this out. Can I check out from this mini SHA? Okay. So this is the failed to construct a build plan thing. We'll get rid of large records. I think that didn't work before, right? Okay, so we've got this decode short text thing. What if I just change the generated code? I'm sure I have to change a bunch of other stuff. Let's make these all ASTs. It doesn't like field number to be AST? Fine. So I'm just going to, by trial and error, see if I can replace the dot stuff with the AST stuff. This is extremely hacky, but I'm not sure that there's a faster way right now to debug the Proto 3 Suite stuff. Right? I must have done something wrong with the named thing. Let's try replacing prim again. Okay, so maybe just in this scope we have the AST thing. Try one at a time. This should probably be AST, right? What? 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 What about field number? Do I need to replace field number? This is not the most fun thing in the world. How many of these do I have? It's not so many more. Do I have to replace field number? What is this? 509, 513. Okay. They keep being more and more. Is that all? Hey, look, it compiles. Look at that. That's quite the event. So the Lector should be the proto should be a dependency of the server. Now whether rules Haskell is going to let me do that, I don't know. But I guess let's try it. Okay, that seems to have been fine. How do I have a it'll do like a Haskell hello world. Oh, I have to, all right. Let's say main equals. Okay. Yeah, it builds. It's pretty surprising. Yeah, okay. So I have to get my capitalization game in order. Put string line. Okay, so we build. That's really tremendously exciting, actually. I thought it was going to be painful. It ended up not being as painful as I think I was expecting it to be. Okay, and so now can I actually do what I wanted to do, which is have the generated proto live in the proto directory? That way, if I have other Haskell-y jobs that need to read those protos, they can all depend on it from the correct place. So I have to define Haskell library. I am like insanely hungry. I'm gonna stop pretty soon. I feel pretty lightheaded, but I do want to like actually get to a stopping point where I feel like I've accomplished more than nothing. First of all, lector.hs is not in this directory, which is I think what this is telling me. Let's fix that. Did I do this in? Yeah, I just rename it, right? Okay. So the proto packages compile. Will the backend packages compile? Okay. So that's surprising. Do I have Bazel run? Should just say hello world, essentially. I don't remember what I told it to say, but say something. Get rid of all this stuff. Yeah, that's the UX session I was using. Oh well. Let's try running the back end. Will it print here? It should print here, right? Emacs didn't want to print it in the compilation window. Oh, and I guess Basil is considering running it from the command line to be a different. It's like not picking stuff up from cache. That's unfortunate. I don't remember if that's the correct behavior or if there's something about my paths or something about rules Haskell that's not picking up the fact that this should be this should just reuse all the stuff from cache. At any rate, we now have some stuff that we can commit, I guess. All of this stuff that I got from the arithmetic server, I'm just going to delete it. I'll probably paste it back in when I start working on it again. All right, whatever. So we have to wait for all the buildy stuff again. And I guess while we're waiting for it, I'll take another look at the arithmetic server. So I've got to define some handlers, which looks like the syntax is pretty straightforward. And then the individual handlers, the logic there will not be entirely trivial, but it doesn't look so bad. And then I need to have some options. I just set main to be the name of the server in the and give it the handlers and the options. That doesn't seem terrible. I'm not even sure if it uses bang patterns here. I guess loop I maybe. Did I run Basil run stack whatever to pin improve build speed? I'm not sure what stack is doing in that sentence, but I was just using Basil. Are you seeing something in my output? I'm not sure what how stack fits in there. The rules Haskell is running stack behind my back, and I think far from improving build speeds, it like does a really slow stack run like every time I invoke Basil, which I think I'm going to try to rip out as soon as, at some point when I decide that it's worth digging into the rules Haskell code. But the only thing that really improves build speed is having built it before. This VM is like a little bit beefy, but it's, less than half the capacity of the host machine. So yeah, they use stack to figure out dependencies. I'm not sure though. I guess the stack download the stack download the dependencies as binaries, or does it build the dependencies? That I don't know, but I don't think whatever it does, I don't think it uses Basil to. I don't think it uses Basil to build any stack dependencies. Like it doesn't seem to generate Basil files for the stack dependencies at all. Okay, so I think I made a couple of changes. All right, let's get rid of all of these extensions or whatever. See if it still builds. Okay, well that's good. We'll just, I assume that if I import something that doesn't exist, it'll fail. Yeah, okay. So see, whatever it's doing importing Lector, it seems to be happy with that. But I don't need all of these dependencies, I don't think. Oh, well, I do need some of them. Prelude, maybe base. Is base the only one I need? So we can get rid of the unnecessary dependencies. Can I do without this main file thing? Since mine's named main? Yeah? Okay. And is there anything else I can clean up? So what happens if I get rid of these two dependencies? Okay, so it does actually seem to be pulling Lector from the Bazel target I defined, and it's not actually depending on gRPC Haskell. Good. And I don't need Haskell library or proto library. And similarly for this, I probably do need some of these, don't I? But how many? So Prelude, Proto3, Suite, more Proto3 Suite, control applicative. Is that in containers? Data byte string. So Bazel runs stackage unpinned pin, writes the JSON file, and then you don't need to call stack. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll try it. Although I don't really like, I don't really want to, I think that, I'm not sure. I haven't decided. I kind of don't like having to have or maintain a stack file or like update it or whatever. I think what I really want to do is either commit all the dependencies or rewrite the logic to like pull them in as source files as like Git repos and compile them with Bazel instead of with stack. But that's not worth my time in the near future. But you know, in the long run, I kind of don't really like having this dependency on stack, even with the pinning. Oh, it doesn't want me running this stuff. Well, I'll do the pinning after I'm done cleaning up my file. Okay. Cool. That sounds useful. Let me finish cleaning up this file, and I'll try the pinning thing. So data.map. I don't know where data.map would be. Oh, it actually tells me what. Okay, yeah, it's in containers. I was covering up the window, so I didn't see these lines. Okay, so it's in containers. Oops. What else do I need? Text. I guess all of this stuff is stuff that's really needed by the generated code. High level server. Yeah, Victor. Okay, so I guess I just don't need async or opt parse generic. All right, cool. So I guess everything that's here I do need, and I should be able to have the lector. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll say that manually modify lector.hs to avoid ambiguous string type. What are the chances I still have this open here? So I'm going to say that I'm going to keep a reference to the commit where it was fixed in Proto 3 Suite and say I'll need to find a way to build a Proto 3 Suite reliably in the future. And I'll just do these as separate commits. Add build file for and I'll add another commit for adding an empty build file in the lector root directory. I'm not sure that's needed, but I'm supposed to do that anyway. Okay, and so now I'll try the pinning thing. I do vaguely recall reading something about how I can avoid running the stack thing. Wait, is it rules Haskell? Yes, rules Haskell, right? I don't really remember where I read that. Maybe it's on their website. There's some snapshot. And I need to set the JSON thing right. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to think about this. I guess it's okay. Like, I guess my this will speed things up, which is good. But my feeling is like all of this information should be encoded already in Bazel in one way or another. And so adding it as another thing feels a bit brittle. It feels like we're like juggling various different package managers. But I guess like I can try to see if it will speed up. Any of the compilations. I mean, we should get like a boost in the beginning. But add build. Is that speed? Is that speed up from caching, or is that speed up from the proto? I mean the pinning. If it's the pinning, then that's definitely worth committing. Oops, that's the wrong key combination. Oh, I need to be in the build file. I see. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it. Although, is it really? Is it using it yet? If I haven't. What if I just move this out of the way? Is it the same build speed? Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I'll try. I'll look into it later when I'm not so hungry. Okay, so that's it for me. I'll be back tomorrow doing more Haskell things. Hopefully, now that we've successfully compiled some protos, we are in a position to actually write some handlers, which we will start as basically hello world type handlers, and then add functionality as we go.